This question here is kind of interesting in that the stop loss, he wants to look for profit, 10-tick profit based on the close, right? The close of the prior bar instead of using live, market data there. So the close of the prior bar, to actually move the stop loss. Yeah. So, that's going to be the something a little different for this question here. So, all right. So let's see. Let's get BlackBird up and open. There. All right. So let's see. I guess the entry doesn't matter for this question. So we'll just create a market entry and then a simple profit target, 30 ticks. Yeah, this is definitely something different with Ninja 8's new interface. It takes a while to build the interface sometimes. All right, so profit target. So I'm just going to use the 10-tick quick list here, quick select, and then just go in and make a quick adjustment here. So we'll just bump it up to 30 ticks. There. All right. Now the stop loss. So I'll just start off with the simple 10-tick fixed stop loss there. Right. So there we go. So we have stop loss, initial stop loss of just 10 ticks. All right. And then we're looking for a 10-tick profit based on the close of the prior bar. All right, so let's get this stop loss open here. Actually, let me move this over a little bit. There, let's get that open. And we're going to go to the trailing actions tab here. And then we're going to set the mode to custom. And let's add a trailing roll here. So, all right, so this is basically going to trail on close. There we go. Yeah, so we're going to trail on the closed bar profit. All right. So initial delay, we can't use initial delay because that's, ticks in direction, ticks against direction. That's looking at live incoming market data there, right? That's looking at the bar that's building. So, but we're interested on the bars that have closed. So we're going to have to use a trigger event here. So for the triggers, we can do price versus indicator. So now price versus indicator could also be price versus price. So that's what we actually want, is price versus price. So that's what we're going to use here. All right. So input A is the closing price of the bar. So that's what we want. So based on our statement, we want the close, right? Close of the prior bar. And that is what this is. This close is going to be the close of the closed bar. Right? Now, input B, we want that. So the way you measure profit is you have to measure it. Your anchor point, your measuring point, is always from your entry price, right? So we're going to set input B to the entry price. So let's switch the mode to price. And we're going to scroll up. So you want to scroll up a little bit. And so there's the entry price. And let's see here. Well, also, we want to add an offset because we're looking for a 10-tick profit there. Yeah, let's correct that. There we go. So we're looking for a 10-tick profit. So let's go back to the actions here. I'm sorry, back to the triggers and back to input B. So if we take the entry price and add 10 ticks, a 10 tick offset, right? A positive. So for a long trade, right? If we add a positive 10 ticks to the entry price, right? Well, that's that would be a 10 tick profit. 10 ticks, a positive 10 ticks, means 10 ticks above the entry price for a long trade, right? So that would be a 10 tick positive or 10 tick profit, right? So, and then of course the shorts is the opposite, right? Negative 10 ticks from the entry price. So there you go. So input B has the 10 tick profit basically built into it, right? Or coded into it. So we just need to compare the close to inputs B to the calculated price for input B, right? So input A is the actual price, the closing price of the bar, and input B, think of that as a calculated price, right? We take the entry price and then we add 10 ticks to that entry price, which gives us our 10 tick profit. So, next, we just need to double check the mode, the long and the short modes here. So if A, remember, so A is the closing price. So if the closing price equals or is above B, and B is our calculated 10 tick profit, that's what we're looking for, right? So yeah, we want the closing price to either equal B or be greater than B, and then we know that we have that 10 tick profit. So so the default long mode is correct, and so that means the default short mode is going to be correct because it's the opposite, right? A is equal or below B. So there we go. So once we have that, we can now go into the actions, and we want to move to let's see. So the question just says, then move the stop to follow by 10 ticks. All right. Yeah, so we'll just set this up for a real-time 10 tick trailing stop loss. So I'm going the wrong way here. Stop losses are negative 10 ticks. There we go. Negative 10 ticks, or in other words, 10 ticks below the last price. So that's what we want there. All right, and then our repeat, well, since this is just a straightforward 10 tick trailing, right, our stop loss becomes a standard 10 tick trailing. Then we just want to repeat this indefinitely and then set the repeat to using ticks, right? There we go. So ticks in direction. And there we have it. All right, that should do it. So let's take this and let's test it out. All right, so let's see here. I'll just go long and we'll move the market up here. Let's see, actually I should have entered kind of halfway in the middle of this range bar. It would have been an easier test, but yeah, we'll see here. All right, so there's 8 ticks, and there's 9 ticks. And there was 10 ticks right there. Yeah. Now keep in mind, BlackBird uses the bid and ask, right, to calculate its P&L, not the last price. So therefore, BlackBird's showing you, your true P&L. And there we go. Stop loss, right, waited until the bar closed before it started trailing. And now it's just going to start trailing on a tick by tick, 10 tick trailing there. So, all right. Well, that was pretty simple and straightforward there. What Michael's question is, let's say, so if we have a 7 SMA, right, it's going to hug price pretty closely. So, if we were in a long trade here, right, the 7 SMA would be sloping up. But then as soon as the 7 SMA starts sloping down, then that reversal point, basically that sloping down, we want to exit the trade right there. Yeah. All right. So let's see here. I will use this same, I'll just use the same setup here and just modify the trailing roll. So let's see. Let's close this out. Cancel that trailing roll. Let's add a new trailing roll. So, all right. So we're going to exit on SMA 7 reversal. All right. So, when I'm thinking the way that we can do that is, again, using the trigger event. And again, we're going to use the price versus indicator, because this can also do indicator versus indicator, right? And so we're going to set input A to the 7 SMA. So to do that, we're going to go to the select mode, and we want an indicator value, right? Because we want to use the SMA indicator. So let's just open this up, and instead of a 14 period, let's adjust that to 7. There. All right, so that's input A, and then input B is also going to be the SMA 7 period. But this time we want a displacement of 1, right? So, the way that you calculate the slope of an indicator, right, is you take the, so let's go over here. So for example, let's see here. Let's try and make this a little more realistic here. So let's, so there. All right, so the way you calculate the slope of an indicator is, let me grab my arrow, there it is. Right, is you take, right, the value of the current bar and you compare it to the value of the previous bar, one bar back, right? So that's how you calculate the slope, right? You get those two points, and you can calculate the slope. So that's what we're doing with the two SMAs. So input A, right? That's the SMA of the current closed bar, right? So with a displacement of 0, so that's going to be the current bar here. And then input B, well, that's going to be the SMA value of 1 bar back. So a displacement of 1 is 1 bar back, right, where my little arrow is pointed. Right? So this would be the displacement of 0, and then 1 bar back is a displacement of 1. So we can capture those two SMA prices of those two different bars. And so then we just need to figure out the long mode and short mode, right? So actually, so if we're in a long trade, we want input A to be less than input B, right? So, right, A is the current bar. So if the SMA is lower, it's going to be less than the 1 bar back. If for a long trade, we're looking for the SMA. Instead of the SMA going higher and higher, we're looking for it to start going lower. So we want long mode. We actually want A to go below B, or A less than B. All right. And for the short mode, simply it's just going to be the opposite. There. All right. And then to make sure that the trade gets closed out, we simply just want to move our stop loss into the last price, right? That's where the market's trading. So, but just to be safe, we'll also add just a couple of extra ticks there, just in case, you know, you're in a fast-moving market. You know, the market could take off without you. You never know. So, but I guess, however, if you're looking for the mark, you know, looking with the 7 SMA, as you know, that's probably telling you that the market's moving against your trade. So I don't know, this may not be necessary, but I guess it's just a good safeguard. And then repeat, well, this can only repeat once, right? If you're closing out an order, you can only do that once. The repeat can just be left alone. Leave it on none. All right, so with that, let's take a look here. Yeah, so give me a moment to, let's get an SMA 7 on here. Okay, there. All right, so the SMAs, let's get to the current prices. There we go. All right, so our SMA is still sloping up. So let's move the trend up. We'll take a long trade. There we go. All right, I'm just going to move the market up a little faster. We'll get a couple of closed bars. All right, let's see. Yeah, let me generate just one more closed bar. Okay, now I'll pull the market down, and let's try and get that SMA to reverse down. All right, as soon as this SMA gets a little higher, it ought to reverse really easy. Okay, there, a couple of down bars, and this SMA should reverse. And there we have it. All right. So, yep, and keep in mind with NinjaTrader 8, you're now going to get a couple of these error messages. So, it's a new Ninja 8 thing. So, just cancel those out. There we go. Cool. All right. And, yeah, so that SMA, it almost looks flat, but it sloped down ever so slightly. Yeah, if we stretch our chart out, yeah, we can see the SMA had just a tad bit of a slope down. So there we go. All right, so there you go, Michael. Cool. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Stay warm out there. I know winter's coming. It's around the corner. So, all right, guys, have a good one. See you next time. Bye-bye.